is part of the Conscious Living podcast. Today is March the 24th. My name is Bill Poutler, and my guest today is Trina Ellis. Hello, Trina.
How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for you nudging me a little bit about this podcast. So thank you for nudging me.
You're welcome.
What we're going to share today is Trina had a near-death experience. But before we jump into that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how Trina and I met, because that story was kind of funny. And then maybe Trina will tell us something about herself if she wants to. And then we'll jump into the near-death experience. So I lived downtown, and Trina at the time, I think, was living close to downtown, and she worked downtown. And I had my motorcycle parked out in front of my building on the sidewalk. And I had it up. It's a BMW, nice big cruising bike. And I had it up on the stand, so it was real solid. And I walked out one day, and Trina was sitting there admiring my bike. And so I said, "Hey, girlfriend," I said, "you like my bike?" She goes, "Oh, I love this bike." I said, "Have you ever ridden on a motorcycle?" And she said, "No, but I've always wanted to." I said, "Why don't you climb up on there?" And she goes, "No, I'm not going to. What if it falls?" She started getting a little crazy on me. And I'm like, "Sweetheart, it's okay." I said, "That bike won't tip over, and I'll show you how." And so I stood on my left peg, put my left foot up on my peg, and swung my leg over just like you're saddling a horse, and showed her how to do it, how to hold on to the handlebars. And so she did that. She was a little nervous, but she was sitting on the seat, and she was enjoying it. And she's like, "Will you take me on a ride sometime?" I'm like, "Sure." I said, "I ride standing up a lot." And so I said, "I want you to stand up and see what it feels like." And she got great trepidation. She's like, "I don't want to stand, it'll tip." I'm like, "No, it's fine. It's fine." And so she had her hands on the handlebar, and she stood up, and she's up over the screen looking around. She goes, "You ride like this?" And I go, "Yeah, and it's fun." She goes, "I bet it's fun." Anyway, and that's how Trina and I met, right?
That's how we met, Bill. That's how we met on a cloudy day.
Was it a cloudy day?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Cloudy
Trina,
day.
cloudy day. So Trina, tell our audience whatever you want them to know about you. We're not going into your near-death experience story yet, but just tell them anything you want them to know about you.
My name is Trina Ellis. Everybody calls me Trina. I'm
Trina.
Hi, I'm 51 years old. I have a birthday coming up in April. Recovering drug addict. You know, just an everyday person that's trying to do the right thing in any given day. No matter who's looking. You have your faults. You have your faults. Everybody has their faults. And drugs was one of my faults. I took drugs on because I wasn't happy with myself, or I wasn't happy with things that were going on in my life. But being off drugs now is the best thing that ever happened to me. So I'm like, I'm clear. I have a clear head.
Mm-hmm.
I think straight. Um, I'm from the south side of Birmingham. I grew up in Southtown Projects over there by UAB. They tore them down.
Right.
It used to be a community. I grew up there. I'm the only child. Have no brothers and sisters. I have 2 kids, both grown. 3 grandchildren that I love very dearly.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just an everyday average Joe, average Joette. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to make a day. You know what I'm saying? Just live by the day.
And you have a stage name, don't you?
Yeah, Jody Studtastic.
Jody Studtastic.
Yeah.
And you have a stage name because you have a particular ability, don't you?
Yeah, my ability. Everybody had a superpower, Bill. And my superpower is to sing. I know how to sing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my superpower.
Can we hear that beautiful singing voice for a second?
Yeah.
Just a couple seconds of it. Let's hear it.
I was born by the river in a little tent, but oh, like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it is.
That's beautiful. Thank you. That sounds like a Southern soul song.
It is Sam Cooke.
Sam Cooke. Beautiful. Yeah. Okay. Anything else you want to tell us before we jump into your NDE, your near death experience?
I mean, anything else? I mean, I'm a good person. You know, people. You know, I tend to get on people's nerves sometimes, but I do it in love. I do it with love. I do it with love. You know what I'm saying? But I
Hmm.
love everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Hmm.
not. I'm not a bad person to get along with. You know. You know. I'm the only child. I love everybody
Hmm.
until you give me a reason not to love. You know, you give me a reason not to like you. You know? And then you know, I change that story. But ain't nobody having anyone gave me a reason not to like them now racially. You know, so I'm just good on that.
We're all beautiful souls on the inside.
Right.
We cover up a lot of that shit on the outside with ugliness. But
Right.
one of the reasons why I love meeting Trina, because when we got done with the whole motorcycle thing, we hugged each other, gave each other a big hug, and I could tell that her soul, her heart was beautiful. So, and then anyway, so a little side note there. And I don't think I want to bring up your old past history. Sorry, I forgot to turn my phone off. Um, but your upbringing was kind of tough, right?
Yeah, I grew up in an abusive household. Well, my dad was abusive. My mother worked a lot. Um, I grew up around my grandmother. You know,
Yeah.
um, yeah, a lot of mistreatment towards me was going on in my household, and
Hmm.
that's why my mom and my dad separated
Hmm.
because of the things he was doing towards me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then that sent your family kind of into a crazy time because your dad ended up leaving, so your mom was the only one supporting you,
yeah,
and then you were in the projects already, and so then you kind of went and got out into the street world for a while, didn't you?
yeah. I got out into life, I gained life in general, just life. You know what I'm saying? Just living life.
Just
You know,
living life.
living life. Life was life at that point in time.
That Trina taught me life is motherfucking life,
Life is motherfucking life.
right?
Yeah.
And then you want to talk about any of your experiences after that, once you're kind of out of the streets?
Yeah, I was homeless for a while. You know, I've been homeless a couple times. That's how I know the streets. You know how to maneuver my way. You have to know how to maneuver your way in that life and then maneuver your way in different life. It's like you portraying a role every time you out there in them streets like that. You have to be a certain way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You had to play a role just to survive.
Yeah, you got to be a character. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
I took on being tough, you know what I'm saying? Being that person that you can count on that's gonna ride with you no matter what. We're gonna stick by. I've been there for. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Um, well, anything else before we go into your NDE?
No,
Okay. So Trina, you've died technically twice, right?
yes, I've died twice.
Okay. Why don't you tell us about when your first death was and what that experience was like?
My first death happened in 2011, and what had happened was if you don't know, it was hot that summer, and I was going to the car.
And you were in Birmingham,
Yeah,
Alabama, right?
I was in Birmingham on the west end of Birmingham on the west side.
Okay.
Excuse me. And I was coming from the car and I passed out. I died. I dropped dead. I can hear people around me saying, "Get her, take her in the house, get her some air." But everything had gotten dark and my body had went limp. As I get,
How do you know your body went limp?
cause I fell to the ground.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
you were
I was
conscious
limp.
enough to feel limp?
I was limp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was limp.
Okay.
And I remember a couple guys picked me up,
Mhm.
took me in the house, and they was fanning me, got me under the air conditioning, and I didn't come around to like maybe 10 minutes.
Mhm.
They were working, and I came back, and I was like, "What happened?" And they were like, "You passed out. You fell dead outside. We had to get you in the house."
Mhm.
But it was dark. It was dark. I never want to see that type of darkness again.
Like, so you didn't like see your body or anything. You just felt like you were in the darkness.
I was in the darkness this time. The first time I was in the darkness.
What did
I,
that feel? What did that feel like?
It felt like emptiness, loneliness.
Were you scared?
I was scared out of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I was scared out of my mind.
Sense any other beings or anything around you?
Nothing. It was just dark. It was like nothing around me, no light, no nothing. I can just hear. I can just hear everybody around me, but I was just gone.
Mm-hmm.
But the darkness was so empty. It wasn't no light,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh my God, have I died? Because I skipped my legs up, my head up when I fell.
Right.
Yeah,
And so, just out of curiosity, not that it matters, but do you believe in God?
I believe in God with my full heart, with my heart, full heartedly, wholeheartedly.
Okay.
I grew up in the church, Bill.
Mm-hmm.
I grew
And
up in
just
the church.
yeah, just because you're in the church doesn't mean you believe in God.
I believe in, yeah, I know you, yeah, yeah. But I believe in him, but I grew up in the church.
Okay.
Okay.
Beautiful. Okay. So, anything else about that first death experience? After 10 minutes, you came back and you were, I don't know, you started to change your life at all, or just kept
Nah,
on doing what you were doing?
I kept on with life. I kept on lifing it. You know what I'm
Kept on
saying?
life in it.
I
Okay.
kept on lifing it. And, I come to find out, during the time of me lifing it, I came out, I got heart failure.
Right.
Yeah.
And heart failure probably was somewhat a result of the drugs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Life was lifing.
Life was life, and that's what
Yeah.
life does, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's jump. Now, your last near death experience was just a couple months ago, right?
Like a month ago. A month ago.
Yeah.
A month ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
You want to
um,
tell us about that, please?
I was at a friend's house, and long story short, I passed out. I had another heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
At this time, I'm having it. They thinking I'm playing.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they thinking I'm playing, but I'm not. And I'm like, I'm something ain't right. Call the ambulance, ambulance, and I said that country, my bad. Ambulance. I had to call the ambulance, and when I got into it, when they called the rescue, I walked to the rescue, passed out in
You walked to the ambulance?
I walked to the ambulance. I had walked to the ambulance. They ain't put me on the stretcher. I walked to the ambulance. Once I got inside, I passed out. When I got to the hospital, I coded.
Okay.
As this is what they telling me. I coded because I woke up. I remember them shocking me, but at the
Where
time,
were you when they shot you? Where were you?
at UAB hospital,
You were at the hospital. I thought you were in the ambulance. You're at
they
the
shot me.
hospital.
No, they do. I think they doing the compression.
Oh, they're doing the compressions in the ambulance.
Yeah, because they gave me
Gotcha.
some sugar. They gave me some sugar to eat. I had to
Okay.
eat a pack of sugar, some sugar, and I passed out. So they doing, I think, because my chest was hurting. They doing the compressions on me.
Okay.
I get to I don't remember nothing after me seeing them shock me. All I know is my body it left me, and I'm looking at them, and I'm thinking I'm talking to them, but they're not talking to me. They saying they finna shock me, and I'm like, you finna what? And they not listening to me. Ain't nobody listening to me. That's how like then when they shocked me, I came back.
So you were on the hospital bed. You had died. You were you floating above your body or not necessarily?
I was just calm. I was sleepy. I was like I was restful. I was ready to rest. I was like okay. I was like it was peaceful.
It was peaceful. Mm-hmm.
It was peaceful.
Didn't you say they were cutting
I
your
was cold. I was cold. My
cold?
body was cold.
Yeah.
They had to put a warming thing on me
Uh-huh.
to get my body back at a temperature.
Mm-hmm.
Because my body had turned cold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then didn't you see him cutting your shirt off or something?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you were laying there with your eyes closed, but you saw him cutting your shirt off?
I'm looking at it's like I'm looking at them from above, couldn't doing this. And I'm
And I
talking
think,
to them, Bill, and they not
yeah.
listening to me.
Didn't you say something like, don't shock me with those things or something
Yeah,
like
I
that?
said, you gonna shock me with those?
Oh, you fixed to shock me with those? Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they shocked me with those, and I raised up off the table and said, "Why you did that? Why did you do that?" You know what I'm saying? That shock is it's like a million volts going through your body.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
So in your first experience, your death experience, you saw the blackness and with no light, kind of the void, I call it, and you were
yeah,
scared. But this time you were peaceful.
yeah. I was peaceful. It's like I was ready.
Hmm.
I was peaceful.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And did you feel any beings or anything around you at that point in time?
No, I seen a light.
Did you really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I seen a light.
I thought you told me that you
I seen a
felt your
hand.
mom's.
I
I thought
seen
you
a
told me.
hand.
Oh, you saw a hand?
Yeah.
Are you making this up or is this true?
No, I'm being true. I seen my like a hand, like my mom's hand.
Oh, your mom's hand.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I woke up. You know what I'm saying? I raised up off the table. Why you do that?
Hmm. Hmm.
Everything was out.
Hmm.
No turn on, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was peaceful. You saw the light. You saw your mother's hand.
Yeah.
Could you kind of feel? How'd you know it was your mom's hand?
Because I can sense her presence.
Sense her presence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like I can sense her presence.
Hmm.
And then it's like I ain't see her hand no more. And I woke up,
Hmm.
you know.
Hmm. Hmm.
I ain't been to sleep since. I can't sleep. I can't sleep.
What do you mean you can't sleep?
Like I sleep 4 hours out the day.
Really?
Really.
Now, after your first death experience, you said you didn't really change your lifestyle at all. Have, besides not sleeping very much, has anything else changed about your life or how you look at life or anything like that?
And I look at life as life is gonna be what you make of it. People gonna throw shit at you every day. It's up to you to catch it. If you want to catch it or not.
Hmm.
You got to make your life up. You got to live your life. You can't expect nobody to be there to help you live your life. You got to live it on your own.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that's how I'm living it.
Hmm. Now, were you still doing drugs
Prior to this heart attack?
prior to this heart attack?
No,
No.
no.
Okay.
And I got the defibrillator to prove it.
Thanks for the evidence.
Yeah.
Um, mhm. What else do you want to tell the audience about you or your experience?
Um, if there's any kids watching, don't do drugs.
Hmm.
Don't do no drugs.
Hmm.
Drugs are very bad. They can make your body feel they can make your body feel good and your mind feel good, but it can make your body also feel bad and take from your body.
Hmm.
So don't
Yeah.
do drugs.
Yeah. There's always, every time you have a really good, drug thing go on in your body, it sucks energy and life out of you.
Yeah.
And so, um, then you kind of have to recover. And if you keep doing drugs, you get those highs. It's harder and harder to get high, right?
Right. It's hard. It's
And
hard to keep chasing the same train.
yeah, harder to
Yeah.
keep chasing the same train. That's exactly right. And so, and after a while, I don't know.
Yeah. You just chasing a dream. You know what I'm saying?
You're just chasing a dream. That's exactly
Chasing
right.
a dream.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Done with the drugs, done with the near death experience. How do you want to wrap this up? Besides not doing drugs, tell the kids out there not to do drugs. What else do you want to tell everybody?
That I love everyone. Thank y'all for tuning in. You know, I am Trina Ellis. This is Jody Studtastic. I am the one and the original. There'll never be another one like me. And I just want to let y'all know that I'm a lovable person, that I love each and every one of y'all. And thank y'all for coming in.
Thanks, Trina. I think we all love you already.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. This is a personal near death experience with one of my good friends. So we'll see y'all on the flip side.